just in continuation to that point, I think from what I've seen, there's a lot of movement outside because of course, the economics, as His Excellency Mr. Bilal has mentioned, but also for experience. And I think the only way that we can actually address this is to make sure that we have leading roles in technology. At the moment, we are followers of technology in the region generally. So there is nothing that should stop us from becoming leaders in technology, especially in separate areas. The way that you can attract people back is by increasing the value, supply and demand, increasing the value of the skill set that you have in Jordan, and then commercializing it through organizations, as His Excellency Mr. Bilal said. And maybe there's a role the government should play there by, striking government deals with countries in the region that could actually export the service through organizations and facilitate the work and things like the double tax that was mentioned. But the key is actually to think ahead and make sure that we are addressing the right mindset of the young generations that are now basically graduating. It's a good thing to actually try to direct the generation towards certain skill sets, like security, for example, today is one of the rarest skill sets that you can find because of the demand that is actually being generated. But the most important part is to actually discover what each individual of this generation likes to do, and then try to get them to do that, because then they would excel at what they do. One thing that we have discovered, for example, when we're recruiting for our security, we have a small academy for security. Once we realized that actually the easiest and more sustainable way is to actually bring young talent, train them, and then have them over years become experts. We're losing many of the experts, of course. But one of the things that we found out is actually that there are some people that have the passion, for security, and we try to find those in universities. We try to find those in the market, fresh graduates, but they have the keen sense of understanding of security and the problems and the challenges that they bring. And we want to make sure eventually that all of us, whether we are in the private sector, government sector, providers or otherwise, that we create this environment where these young generations can actually learn. One of the things that we're doing, for example, next year, it was supposed to be a couple of years ago, but because of COVID, it got delayed, is a program called Taqat. And Taqat is basically a program that is focused on trying to condense the experience that an individual can get in the first few years, because this is where they are more, easier to get more information, and then you can get them to be much more productive much sooner. So we want to actually try to summarize the experience of the experts, the ones that have the 15 and 20 and 25 years of experience, to tailor these programs hands-on from university to start to actually get the skill set growing very quickly. I think this will be actually something that will transform, the way that we look at skill set in the region. And I think that we need to come back as number one in the region in terms of the skill set. A lot of Jordanians that are out there today do actually come back to actually try to push Jordan back to the forefront in terms of the technology. And this is what we would like to have, in terms of, as part of this transformation that's happening, to look at that aspect as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. I totally agree. Focusing on the people attractiveness and making sure that the people are the cornerstone is considered one of the cornerstone pillars of the digital economy, and put more focus on attracting them is very important.